What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I am the co-founder of Flourish Lashes. So if you are a lash artist and you are struggling with retention, this is the video for you. On my channel, we talk all about how to be a better lash artist. So if you click this video, you are either having retention issues or you are trying to just be a better lash artist. Doesn't matter which one it is, you hit the right video. Also, guys, I just got lash extensions. Fun fact is, if you guys actually watch my previous videos, some of those business tips I give out, I always mention having lash extensions on. I haven't had lash extensions on for like a year, but I always say, if you are trying to give yourself some free marketing, get yourself some lash extensions. So here I am. Okay, so let's get into my 3 tips. Okay, so tip number 1. Tip number 1 is all about understanding the natural lash. This is something that I feel people don't really do often, and it's really so important because you can tell people to do something, or I could tell you to do something, but until you actually understand why you're doing it, you're never gonna really understand. So this is why I say you need to understand the natural lashes. So it's understanding why we do what we do. So when we're talking about primer, we're talking about cleanser, what are the purposes for them? So when we're talking about primer, we're talking about drying out the natural lash. Now, everybody's gonna be different in this scenario. Some people have oily lids, some people don't, some people have really dry skin, so you wanna be careful. Now, some people say, hey, use both primer and cleanser and they get the best retention, and that is amazing, but it does take a little trial and error. So for instance, I used to do both prime and cleanse, and I personally did not find I had the best retention. So then I started to do a little bit of research, started to do some digging, and what I found out is that I think that for my climate and for my clients, I was actually over drying the lash by cleansing and priming. So because I was cleansing and priming, I was stripping the lash thoroughly of all of its oils, anything that could possibly be on there, and it was off balancing the pH level of the natural lash. So when I would go and apply the extension with the adhesive, it actually wouldn't hold properly. It would kind of bounce off, and if it did hold, it would hold for the day, but then it would fall off a little bit quicker than it should. So that sense, I actually started reducing what I did. So instead of actually priming and cleansing, I would pick and choose what I did. So when I had a client that came in straight from work, she didn't have any makeup on or anything like that, but I knew she was at work all day. It was in the evening. I would then prime that client, especially in the summer, because the oil buildup would have been more than somebody who came to me in the morning, came to me from home. Maybe they just took a shower, washed their face, whatever the case was, it was definitely going to be a little bit more oil buildup than that person. So I would always prime that specific client. Now, if I had a client that came in and I saw a little bit of dirt, debris in the lash line, maybe a little excess makeup, some mascara, whatever it may be, then I would cleanse that client. Now, if I cleansed that client and I found that client was actually more on the dry side, I wouldn't go ahead and prime. I would literally just cleanse and leave it at that, because if I did prime, then I'd be overstripping the lashes. So when we're thinking about primer and cleanser, you want to think about cleanser as your makeup remover. So your cleanser is, when we're talking about our face, cleanser would be what you do to take off, your makeup, anything you can see, give it a nice cleanse, but it's not a deep cleanse. It's more of a surface cleanse. But then you want to think of your primer as more of like a toner. So we would use a toner to get deeper into the pores, deeper into the skin, take out any excess dirt. And what it does is dry out your skin, and then you would have to go moisturize, right? So primer would technically be the same in the sense that it would dry out the lash, and then you would go in with your adhesive, and then that would stick really well to your natural lash. But if you're looking at somebody who has really, really dry skin, you wouldn't necessarily want to prime them because, like I said, you can definitely off balance the pH level, and that could give you bad retention. So when it comes to primer and cleanser, you want to use your discretion, and understanding what each one of them does on their own individually will give you a better understanding on where you need to use each one and whether or not it's necessary or not. Okay, tip number 2 would be understanding your adhesive. So I've talked about this a lot, but honestly, this is such a crucial part of your retention, a crucial part of lashing in general, is understanding what you're using, the chemicals you're using, and how they act. Because if you can understand that, again, just like the primer and the cleanser, you will be able to understand why things may or may not be going the way you want them to. So understanding your adhesive is key, understanding the formula. So lash adhesive is made with cyanide cyanacrylate and carbon black as the main ingredients. And if you understand how strong cyanacrylate is, you would then understand that cyanacrylate sits at the top and the carbon black sits at the bottom. This is why it's so important to shake your adhesive before you use it, because if you don't do that, then when you go ahead and pour your adhesive out, sometimes, I don't know if you've seen like that clear liquid that comes out and then there's maybe a little black kind of mixed in there. So that means all your cyanacrylate is actually coming out first, and that's the bonding agent that you need. So if you're gonna go and pour your adhesive out like that and have a little bit of black mixed in there, yeah, that drop that you put out will be nice and strong, but the next time you use that adhesive, most of the cyanacrylate, the bonding agent, is gone. So you are gonna have really bad retention. It's gonna compromise your client's lashes, and you're gonna be confused as to why that happened, and it's because you did not shake your adhesive. So make sure you're shaking your adhesives. The other thing with adhesive is understanding the characteristics of it. So understanding the dry time, and with the dry time comes your hand speed. So you gotta make sure you know the dry time of your adhesive and know how fast it is that you're working. Because if your dry time is too slow and you're working too quickly, then the lashes are gonna be slipping and sliding all over the place, getting stuck together, and that could totally mess up not just your retention, but the overall look of the set. And then if your lashes are actually drying too quickly before you actually put them on, so let's say your dry time is much faster than your hand speed, then that is going to directly mess up your retention, because the lash is actually drying out before it's put onto the natural lash, and it's not bonding to that natural lash. And it may stick for the day, may not stick for the day, but it will definitely fall out a lot faster. And you'll know this also by when you're brushing out the lashes throughout the set. This is why that's important as well, because when you're brushing out the lashes through the set, you'll see if anything's popping off, if anything's staying on. This is a clear indication that something's not going right. So make sure you're brushing out your lashes throughout the set. Also, major key with adhesive, if you guys do not have a hydrometer, you need one ASAP. Making sure you understand your humidity range is a major reason why people have bad retention, because they don't know the humidity range of their adhesive, nor do they know the humidity range of their room. And it doesn't matter if you know one and you don't know the other, because then that makes no difference. You could know the humidity range of your adhesive but not know the one in your room, and that's not helping anybody. So you absolutely need to know both, so that way you can make sure that they are compatible with each other. And if there is anything wrong, you can then get a humidifier or a dehumidifier to put your room in the right range for your adhesive. Okay, my very last tip is all about your clients. So making sure that you know that retention is 50-50. It is 50% you, 50% the client. So once your client leaves, that doesn't mean your job is necessarily done, because you do need to make sure that you are educating your client, making sure that your client is aware of what to expect and that they have a clear indication on if something should be going wrong, what they should do. So let's say your lashes are falling off a bit too quickly. They need to contact you ASAP. They don't need to be afraid that you're gonna blame them. They need to be able to reach out to you ASAP so that you can take a look, see what's going on. I actually had this happen to me a couple days ago. I had a client, regular client of mine, she's been coming to me forever, and then she called me back and she's like, hey, the lashes are falling off a bit too quickly. And I was like, you know what, come in right away. When I took a look at her lashes, everything looked great, but there was a lot of fallout. And I immediately thought to my head, the only thing that could have happened here was that the adhesive was probably getting a little bit too old and it was done its day. So I knew right away that that was it. I changed my glue immediately and then put a fresh set of lashes back on her, and she hasn't had a problem since. So I already know that was the issue and we're good to go. But because I educate my client on a regular basis on what to look for, they were able to come back to me and let me know that something was wrong. Some clients feel a little bit too nervous about this because some lash artists don't give them that window of the opportunity to actually say, hey, something's wrong, something's not feeling right. So you wanna make sure that you do give your client that chance to say something, follow up with them, make sure that within a week they're still doing okay. Because if not, it is your responsibility to do a quick fix. Because if it's within a week and not even a couple days and something's going wrong, chances are maybe back to basics. Maybe the lashes need to be primed. Maybe they were a little bit too dirty. Maybe the adhesive wasn't shaken enough. Little things. So make sure that you are educating your client properly. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you learned a thing or two. I hope that you're able to take this and apply it to your next set. Hopefully you see a difference in your retention. If you guys like this video, if you guys want more like this, definitely don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will be back with something new next time. Bye.